today's fast-paced world, time is of the... Imagine gripping your audience with engaging, short and punchy videos. Clicked Creations brings your vision to life, crafting compelling scripts, captivating images, dynamic videos and rhythmic music. With our services, you're not just a spectator in the game, you're the MVP. Make your mark, tell your story, and let Clicked Creations take you to the next level. Because in today's fast-paced world, time is of the essence, and so is your message.
Step for the fashion and design industry to enable their brands and creations to live in the digital world. In today's video, I want to talk about a project with a low market cap of only $3 million. Anything in the crypto space is already a gamble, let alone a low market cap project, but I think this one is special, and if you see what I see, then maybe we have found a winner. In today's video, I want to talk about Luxo. I want to talk about its role in the art and entertainment industry and how you can be a part of this company's growth. So sit back, relax, and let's learn everything that is Luxo. Luxo is in the middle of a reverse ICO. By a Hollywood writer, but is in fact a completely true story. So sit back, relax, and let's learn everything that is the Silk Road.
It's a once-in-a-century credit tsunami. Central banks and governments are being required to take unprecedented measures. Given the financial damage to date, I cannot see how we can avoid a significant rise in layoffs and unemployment.
Lehman Brothers is going bankrupt, and financial markets from Asia to Europe are doing their utmost to prevent Monday from turning from dark to black.
The Nasdaq down for 4 straight quarters for the first time since the dot-com bust. The S&P dropping nearly 20% for its 4th worst performance since the Second World War. The Dow a relative outperformer this year, but still shedding almost 9%.
Everybody in the West, at least, owns, a lot of people have got pensions, and these pensions invest in stock market, and a lot of the shares are actually the shares of banks. And when bank shares get hammered, people's pensions get hammered, so everybody loses.
Everyone else is watching, and they're seeing these big negative numbers, and their confidence gets affected.
They are ping-ponging back off each other.
People are seeing this, and those memories of fear are coming back.
Procter & Gamble. Procter's trading at 60.
What the heck is going on down here? I don't know.
All of a sudden here, we started hearing screaming, buy, buy, buy.
Right now, we're sitting down 875 points.
We've now broken Dow 10,000. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 900 points.
3 evens out trading here, 2 evens out trading. 72 even just traded.
Market didn't work. It broke down. The machines broke down.
Fear came back into the market in a very big way.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate. We're red everywhere, essentially, down by 4-5%. We're down over 16%. Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%. The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
2-year note yields went from 190 to 166 in the blink of an eye.
The NASDAQ, everything and more has been completely wiped out.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Ross grew up in a loving family, with a sister named Callie and his parents, Kirk and Lynn. He grew up in a loving household in a middle-class family who built and rented houses on the Costa Rican coast.
To the people who fly under the radar, don't get out of line, need to feel better safe than sorry. Go with the flow, don't make waves, stay in line, play by the rules, don't stir the pot, follow the leader, don't stand out, get in line. If this is you, get out of our way. Are you tired of seeing thousands of ads thrown in your face every single week? What if I told you there's a shift coming where companies are finding a way to grow faster by giving you their ad money? Think about it. The last time you heard about a product from a friend versus an advertisement, which one held more weight? Which one made you more likely to buy? That's the power of word of mouth. When you trust someone, that recommendation means more than any commercial ever could. Look at Tesla. They've become the most valuable car company in the world with virtually no traditional advertising. The companies that understand that authentic recommendations build trust faster than any commercial ever could are the companies that understand how the world works. This is where SocialX is changing the game. Why should only athletes and influencers and celebrities get paid to share products they love? We believe everyone deserves to earn from their recommendations. Here's what makes affiliate marketing so powerful. Companies can invest directly in people instead of expensive advertising campaigns. This means they can offer incredible commissions. According to Payscale.com, the average affiliate marketer's base salary jumped from $54,000 in 2022 to over $64,000 in 2024, with their average bonuses reaching an excess of $99,000. To the people who fly under the radar, don't get out of line, need to feel better safe than sorry. Go with the flow, don't make waves, stay in line, play by the rules, don't stir the pot, follow the leader, don't stand out, get in line. If this is you, get out of our way. Some chase after life, while others let it slip away. If this is you, it's not your fault, and you're not alone. Close to 50% of the young population has felt tired on a daily basis, and 58% of those people say that it keeps them from enjoying life. This means, essentially, that 1 out of 4 people are missing out on life. Most battle this by sliding down energy drink after energy drink after energy drink just to keep them killing through the day. When you fuel your body right, you break boundaries, you conquer challenges, and you stay sharp. But without it, fatigue, brain fog, and missed opportunity become the norm. Don't hit snooze on your potential. Don't fuel up on calories, carbs, sugars, and artificial sweeteners. Treat your body right. It's time to choose energy, choose focus, choose the drive to do more, and choose the blast drink that you will ever need to energize your mind and body. No more crashes, no more compromises, just pure, sustained energy that lets you chase life, not sleep through it.
The developing headline, the deadly stabbing.
Calling this further proof democracy is under assault. Be carcinogenic.
Burning homes to the ground tonight, the park fire out of control. And
admits he met with a Russian attorney. Obtaining text messages between local snipers on.
The economy is unstable, politics are a mess, and everyday stress is through the roof. People are tired of being controlled by their jobs, their schedules, their paychecks. They crave freedom and the opportunity to work for themselves. But amidst this chaos, there's a beacon of hope, a way to take control of your life and future. Right now, countless people are working from home, setting their own hours and living the dream. But many still haven't found the right company, product, or even have the means to start something at home. They're stuck in the planning phase, lacking the support they need. But what does that perfect work life look like for you? How about having entrepreneurial freedom by being your own boss, or sharing a product that you believe in? Working where and when you want with minimal financial risk, having unlimited earning potentials, continuous growth with a team and mentors, residual monthly income that grows. How about waking up every single day and loving?
In a world where time is our most precious commodity, where the battle against aging feels endless, a revolutionary breakthrough is about to change everything. Introducing the 2-Minute Miracle, an innovation that defies the boundaries of science and time. Imagine a technology so advanced, it delivers life-giving nutrients into your body in under 2 minutes. At the heart of this miracle lies patent-pending nano-encapsulation within ultra-pure lipids, carrying the essence of youth. These aren't just words, they're your new reality. Healing cells, rejuvenating skin, and igniting energy that lasts. This isn't just about looking younger, it's about living better. Our exclusive cellular nutrition blend dives deep, healing damaged cells, powering your body's core, and supercharging your vitality. Backed by over 10,000 studies, this blend delivers 6 key ingredients for mitochondrial power, 9 essential sugars with amino acids for direct energy, and 4 crucial components for cellular function. Fast, powerful, and life-changing. Together, they create a force within you that won't just survive, but thrive. Discover the future of health. The 2-Minute Miracle, coming to you now.
Get ready for a change. It's time to make a switch. In just 4 seconds, your life will be enriched. A secret's in the air. Let me fill you in. The 4-second solution. Let the winning begin. In the blink of an eye, everything will shift. From doubt to confidence, your spirit will live. No more waiting around, it's time to take control. The 4-second solution. The greatness unfolds.
Ten, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a lift. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Visionaries see the world differently. They see possibilities where others see limitations. In a world where aging is often seen as inevitable, pioneers in health have disrupted this narrative, unveiling the incredible potential within ourselves. And that's what brings us here today, as we are bringing you a revolutionary breakthrough in anti-aging. Introducing the powerhouse duo, Xanthamus Plus and Glutamus Glutathione. Xanthamus Plus harnesses the potent nutrients of mangosteen, the original superfruit. The mangosteen's pericarp rind contains more xanthones than any other source on Earth. These xanthones are powerful antioxidants that combat oxidative stress, the primary cause of aging. Traditional methods have only scratched the surface, but our patent-pending technology encases
Let's see what this sounds like. Sorry, I'm testing the live audio right now. Figured why not. Wow, it's actually not picking it up as much as I thought it would. Sorry, I'm testing the live audio right now. Interesting. Wow, it's actually not picking it up as much as I thought it would. All right. So, what's up? So, I kind of figured for those who are new, which is most of you, because I'm kind of joining everybody into one kind of group, sort of. But essentially, this week, every single Tuesday, I've been doing live streams, and I kind of stopped for a little bit, but I'll be doing weekly live streams at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I go over, like, you know, tech stuff, AI, media editing, social media, all sorts of stuff, as I'm just well versed in that industry, and I can save people tens of thousands of dollars, essentially, if, you know, depending on if they're doing something I know a lot about or not. And so I used to charge, you know, high hourly rates and do big projects, and I'm kind of going away from that, as I'm doing a lot of local stuff with companies, and focusing on some, you know, local companies I really like, and I'm just allowing people to hop on $40 a month if they want to do one-on-one or, you know, Q&As with me and help them on projects, AI, building, whatever the case, in like a group session, or I'll be on these weekly streams doing live, you know, tutorials and stuff. So just kind of going over things that I want to go over. So, but yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything like that in terms of, you know, social media, tech, or AI software, automations, you know, I have a business background, so I do a lot of my stuff is kind of around, you know, like I know a lot about lead generation and customer acquisition and customer management systems, and you know, and then my passion with technology just helps with automations and all, you know, AI and blah 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 blah. But yeah, so at any rate, I've been doing these live streams, and then I just never post the videos, and I think I'm just gonna start posting the videos now. I just gotta dial them in a little bit more, so I think the first few weeks I might be, you know, we'll see. But yeah, today I figured we'd go over social media and go over, you know, there's so many different ways to use social media, and there's so many different ways to post, and so many different ways to brand yourself and use social media to your advantage, to what you're trying to accomplish, blah, 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 blah. But So yeah, a lot of this won't resonate for you. And you know, really, I feel like social media should be used to post stuff that you do. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just, you know, but today it's about branding. It's about, you know, I don't know. So, I mean, I know, you know, but so, so yeah, just depending on how you want to use it, depending on what you're using it for, it might be a little bit different. But now on the screen that you see right now, I'm gonna post this in the chat. I figured anyone who's working with me as we go on and talk about things, I'm going to post links of the AIs, of the, wow, that's annoying changing in the background. I'll post all the links here. This is like a kind of a dashboard. It's a website URL that you can go to, and essentially all of these are websites, and I have another one that I have like, you know, 100 plus links, and they're all categorized in folders and stuff. So I figured this might be a good central hub to kind of where I post all my new links and new projects I'm doing and whatnot. And it probably doesn't make any sense what you're looking at right now, but over time you'll understand once you start clicking around, seeing what it is. But I'll post this in the chat. Oh wait, can I? I have to sign in the chat? What? I'm like signed in already. That's how I'm streaming, but whatever. Skystruck. There we go. It's a Symbolo is like the company that does this. But yeah, so Buffer. Now, there's a couple different programs. I would say like there's a company called Metricool, METRICOOL. If you want to check out, they do more analytics. They might be I don't know. They might be better in more areas. If I were to choose the two, I would probably choose Metricool, but Metricool is like $8 to $15 a month for like 5 to 10 accounts. I need to look. Okay, the camera's right here. And so we're gonna use Buffer because it's free for 3 accounts. And in this scenario, I'm gonna talk about how to manage your social media when you're managing it and you don't have a lot of time. And you're just trying to connect with your audience, just trying to share updates, that sort of thing. I am kind of a firm believer that you should find people who are great at doing the jobs you don't like doing, so you can focus wholeheartedly on the job that you're doing. As the more hours you put into that, the quicker you're going to accelerate and you know, gain experience and knowledge and all that sort of stuff. That being said, not everyone has a ton of money to pay people for stuff, so ooh. There's like allergies. So I figured we'd go over some Buffer. So by the way, if you click that link, just to kind of show you, I use Wix for my site. I like to edit my site. It's fun for me. I could use WordPress because it's free, but it's just, there's a lot more editing, a lot more dialing in, a lot more making sure it works on tablets and phones and laptops and computers and virus checking, and everything's open source, which means anybody could add code to it and it's not as secure, and I just don't want to deal with any of that, and so I just picked Wix because it's easy. They handle a lot of the analytics and the back end stuff. It's like $28 a month to get a site on it, something like that, and then, you know, if you want a chat room, it's an extra $8 a month. You want a forum, it's an extra $4 a month, like that sort of thing. But so it's definitely not the cheapest, but it's the easiest. I'm just going to share kind of what these apps are, and then we'll kind of go on to Buffer, which is right here. So Canva, if you haven't used Canva before, it's a really good, easy to use editing. I'm just going to hop into it. And this is what I use a lot for social media. Now I use a lot more advanced editing programs out there that can do so much more, but this Canva has really simplified it, and there's actually a lot of companies that do a really good job. But for example, let's go to social media. There's been something going on with Canva lately on my PC. Or not on my PC, it's actually all of our, on my phone, my wife's phone, like something with our account, or this is weird. I have to like hop into this keynote and then hop out. Yeah, isn't that weird? But at any rate, so for example, this is where I posted this graphic to kind of share my social media posts, and I accidentally had the wrong dates on there, my bad. They're correct now, but yeah, it's really easy to use. You can end up, yeah, let's hop into some graphics, and you know, I want to, you know, add a little lightning bolt, or you know, I want to add a picture frame, and so like the drag and drop functionalities of it are fairly easy. And yeah, I would say Canva, if you don't know how to use it, and how about this? If you've never heard of Canva, just know that's the one you should use. There's not an easier editing program out there when it comes to making graphics. Sorry, right here. I have another camera right here. I normally use this camera. I don't know why I'm using this one, but there we go. But yeah, there's a lot of editing programs out there. This one's gonna be the easiest. It's completely free as well. So if you want to pay for the upgrade, you get extra stuff, storage, you get videos, but whatever. But I feel like you kind of need this for social media nowadays. Like I said, I know a lot of other advanced software. I use Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Photoshop. You know, 3D cinema, you know, Blender, Unreal Engine, which does like 3D animation, video game editing. It's like there's like cool stuff I could do, but this free software that anyone can use is what I end up using a lot. I actually use this more than Photoshop now, not more than Adobe Premiere, but yeah. And like, check this out. If you haven't used this, if you have never used this before, I'm so excited to share this with you. Most of you are like, yeah, I know what Canva is, I'm not stupid. But if you are the people who don't go online all the time, so it's kind of funny, my followers, people I hang out with, they're obsessed with technology. So like they run their own blockchains, they have their own NFTs that they've created themselves, they have all this crazy stuff going on. Or I have a community where I liked all those nerds who just know how to do everything, and the salespeople who charge 20, 30 grand to build an AI bot or something. Like, we try to teach it to people, you know, for 40 bucks a month or whatever the case. And so there's like this difference of people that hop on my streams. And so it's hard to talk to both audiences. But if you have not seen Canva before, just like, so if you want to do like an ad, how about this? You're a lawn mowing Instagram ad. So if you're a lawn mowing company and you want, oh my gosh, look at this. Boom, you got your ad already. This one's pretty good. You got your ad you're set up, right? So they have all these templates pre-set up. And depending on what templates you use and everything, they might have a Canva logo on them. I think the program's like 10, 20 bucks a month to pay for Canva if you like want to do videos and stuff. But at any rate, yeah, I spent way too much time talking about Canva. And then now the socials, let's just talk about this. I'm not going to hop on a lot of screens. There's a lot of this stuff I just like to have a conversation with you about this, but now I'm talking to the people who don't use social media all the time, and again, it's hard to, sometimes I might be talking over your head because I assume that people have, like, understand the difference between TikTok and Instagram or YouTube Shorts or whatever the case. So let me try to break it down to you so you kind of understand what each platform is used for. A problem that I definitely have, and I know a lot of people in my generation have, the ADHD, HDHD, DDHD problem, where you can't focus on anything. You want to do 600 things at once, and if anything is cut from that 600 things at once list, it throws you off, and you don't know how to focus on one thing. I mean, literally the last 6 months, I have been trying as hard as I can to not do anything but one thing, and it's like so hard. But at any rate, some of you want to post on every single platform, like me. Even though I have relationships with literal self-made billionaires who only focus on one platform and say that that's the better way to do it. So, but let me just kind of explain each platform, because some of these are not going to make any sense for you. So like LinkedIn. I hate LinkedIn personally. LinkedIn. So if you guys don't use LinkedIn, let me explain to you the man. And by the way, I have backed away from this so much that I'm even missing half of what's actually going on. But this whole platform is, and most people know what it is. It's like Facebook, but it's for businesses. So if you're a business, I feel like deleting my account actually. Everyone's fake on. The only thing this is used for is for people to show clout. Which, by the way, if you're a business, you got to get on here, because this is where people talk about how awesome they are. They talk about how much money they're making. They talk about how much better they are and how much more they're selling than their neighbors, and how many top performer salesmen they have, and then make sure that you give a inspirational quote at least like 1,600 times a day. Like, this is just like one of those things that it's like, okay, it's Instagram for businesses. That's what it is. It's businesses want to show off their best of the best of the best. It's nothing real, but everyone uses it. And if you're a business and you're not using it, then you're missing out. So, it puts a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know why I don't like it. Everyone's posts on there. I know these people, and they just like post. They're posting that post on LinkedIn specifically so they can get their business clout, their business, I don't know. But I'm just being kind of trash talky. You 100% should use LinkedIn if you're a business and you want to connect to businesses. But just know that's what it's used for. So don't go on and start posting about your family. They don't care. Don't go on and post about, business. That's what it's about. So let's talk about how much money you're making. Let's talk about how fast you're growing. Let's talk about, that's what it's for. The better you are at bragging about yourself, the better you will be at LinkedIn. By the way, I'd love to hear you guys in the comments what you think about LinkedIn. TikTok is just. By the way, this music. It's from a game called Star Citizen. It's one of my music channels where I figured I'd let that run in the background while whatever. Anyways, so TikTok, just so you know where I'm getting the music from. So TikTok is interesting as it's made for youth. So pretty much anyone under 21 is gangbusters on TikTok. Now, this isn't where businesses thrive. This is more where there's just a lot of kids on there posting viral videos, and you could get huge on TikTok. And so, but it's for an audience. It's for an audience that's young, and that they don't have their attention spans in that like 3 to 6 second mark, and you have to hit that 3 to 6 seconds every 3 to 6 seconds on those videos. And the better you are at that, the better you're gonna be at TikTok. But TikTok has a hard time translating into income. And so if you're using TikTok as the main platform to post on, just know you're not going to make money off of TikTok unless you have millions of followers. It's much harder to make money on TikTok with the amount of followers that you would. If you had 1 million followers on YouTube, you could make a decent living. 1 million views on one video is, 20 grand or something. And so if you can do that 2 or 3 times a year, or your videos in total, but that takes a while. You can get that quicker in TikTok because the videos, it can be 8 seconds long, So if it's a really funny 8 seconds, people will play that over and over and over. They'll share it more, and you can get a lot more views. But business-wise, if you're trying to sell things to people, if you're trying to build a brand, TikTok's not the one. And so I am trying to dial it in to like the smallest amount of channels, and I had like 9 different channels that I was using. And I've dialed it down to Instagram is for sure one of them, and YouTube is for sure one of them. Outside of those 2, I might not post much on. That being said, though, you can every post on Facebook goes into Instagram sort of thing. And then, so I don't know. But I don't really care for Facebook as much as I do for Instagram. But at any rate, yeah, TikTok's for kids. YouTube is great. It's more for long form content. It is for documentaries. It's for the videos that are on there. You're not gonna see a lot of 3-minute videos. You're gonna see a lot of 6 to 15-minute videos in that range. And YouTube is dominated by kids. So if you ever have seen a YouTube video that has 80 million views or whatever, and you're like, this is the stupidest video I've ever seen in my life. How is this video, what is going on in life to have 80 million views on this? Why are people, the answer is kids every time on YouTube. So, yeah, YouTube is a good place for that. For kids, you can't make money off of kids on YouTube. There was a issue, they call it ElsaGate, where essentially people were posting these cartoons and people dressing up in costumes, and they were doing inappropriate things, whatever. And so now if you make a video for a kid, no one can make money off of it, so it doesn't incentivize people spending a lot of money and time building content for that. But at any rate, if you were to have a brand and you're going to post videos, YouTube's the place to do it. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff is great, but if you a brand for 16:9 content, for movie theater content, portrait content, YouTube is definitely it. It's more professional. It's linked up to YouTube. YouTube owns it, Google owns it. So you're pushed on Google's algorithm for videos on Google's Google.com. So yeah, anything over a minute that you would share with in a meeting or something like that, you would post on YouTube. Now Instagram, this is an area I actually know a lot about Instagram, but I also feel like I know the least about Instagram because I talk to a lot of people that are on 10 levels above me on Instagram when it comes to their they have this meta of just I feel kind of how I am with certain things that I know a lot of. They are with Instagram. Sorry, it's my neighbor. He's got a freaking gnarly bike. Oh man, I gotta talk to him about anyways, by the way, this wine, I used to do these beer, drink, whatever streams. Hold on, let me show you this. I'm in my garage right now, by the way. If you can't tell. So, side note, I have a little rig over there where I mined crypto back in the day. I do a lot of like rendering of graphics and whatnot, and it gets really hot. And so the good thing about running a mining rig or something like that, or doing a lot of GPU processing on your PC, is it gets really hot, like really hot. And in the winter, you don't need to turn on your heater. You just you literally just open up your computer and boom, heater is done. And that one PC would heat up the entire floor. Heat would rise. It was gnarly. But at any rate, I used to do these Tuesday beer days, right? I have a new beer every single time, but I have wine. It's Vampire. I should have brought it out here, but cheers. I forgot to do that at the beginning. So, like half an hour. I'm so good at just rambling, you guys. I'm talking nonsense. So here's my deal with Instagram. Factually, like, okay, I don't really care about opinions as much as I do facts, and so like I totally understand. Okay, and I actually learned this when I sold on Amazon. So here's the deal with Amazon. Everybody would have these ideas. Oh my gosh, dude, I have this great idea for a toothbrush holder that actually fits like in the, whatever. They'd have these ideas. And hey, that could have worked. Those ideas could have definitely worked. But what I learned from Amazon is like, for example, a toothpick sharpener might be the thing that would make me 6 figures of income alone. Why would anyone ever use that? I have no idea. It's the dumbest thing ever. But I'm thinking with my mind and my lifestyle and how I grew up in my neighborhood with my community and my ethics and my background and my taste in food and my, and so I'm, just because my tiny little pocket of the universe, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean that the product doesn't make sense. And so, so yeah, I feel like that's kind of been my thing of like, for example, YouTube. I know what will get me clicks on YouTube. Like, I know how I can pump this channel. I know. But if I did that, I would hate YouTube, and I just wouldn't want to do it. I didn't join YouTube to like become the YouTube million follower guy and make content that people love to click on and have my focus be clicks and views. And like, I made YouTube initially. I mean, I love making videos and I wanted to like do art and, but what actually pushed me over the edge was Bitcoin. Back in like 2016, 17, people were asking so many questions and I was tired of having the same conversation. And so I was like, yeah, let's do YouTube. And then if they had a question, I'd be like, yeah, I talked about that. Here's the video. You want to talk about that? Sure, live stream. And I enjoy chatting, and I enjoy talking about stuff, and I enjoy meeting people that have the same sort of interests and stuff, and so that's why I use it, but that's not what's going to pump me on YouTube. So if I want to be pumped on YouTube, then I have to accept the fact that just because I want to do something doesn't mean that the entire world's going to hop on board and accept it. It doesn't matter how much passion I have. It doesn't matter how much I love it. If I put my whole heart into it, I could still easily fail and fall on my face and not and so is it worth it? I don't know, sort of thing. And so for me, YouTube, I love media. I love film. I love writing. I love producing. I love like every single aspect of it. I want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on. And so like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't like it. And YouTube's not for me. Instagram, there's so many niche people in there. There's so many niche categories. But Instagram's all bull crap as well, just like LinkedIn, except for your lifestyle. Everyone wants to show how amazing they are. They want to show how great their life is. They want to show how real they are. They want to, You know, obviously everyone kind of knows that about LinkedIn. Not everybody knows that about, or sorry, Instagram. Not everyone knows that about LinkedIn because not everyone uses LinkedIn. I guess it depends on your career. I was in the tech world for a minute, and that was all over. You know, but yeah, Instagram factually has Instagram and Facebook has the second. When it comes to making money and finding an audience that aligns with you and your business, Facebook and Instagram are number 2 and 3 of the best way to reach that audience. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Oh dang, I don't have it connected. So I have a little machine that I have connected. So Instagram 7:34. So it's hard to explain on Instagram because there's so many different ways that you can post, and I should do an entire thing on Instagram because there's I feel like there's so many different ways and niches and types of people and how you can be successful on Instagram that I'm not qualified for. But Instagram is a very, very good place to go to find loyal followers and people that are on their phone every single day. And so if you post and they follow you, they are gonna see your information. So it's like Facebook is different. You can get lost in Facebook. There's so much stuff to do on Facebook, but Instagram is streamlined. Your feed, your stories, they don't have like, 15 tabs with different, you can do groups, you can do communities, you can do forums, you can do, people could spend days all over Facebook and not even touch the social aspect of it. You can't do that with Instagram. So I would say Instagram's probably your number one way to touch your demographic, touch your market, touch your, get your follower types of people. If your types of people would be on Instagram, right? If they use it, if you're, I guess like, I don't know the type of people who wouldn't use Instagram, but if your like group or who you're targeting or who you're trying to align with doesn't use Instagram, obviously that's not the choice. Now Facebook was essentially the first like big social media platform out there that stuck around, and so so the younger crowd between the 20 to 40 range uses Instagram, and then the 30 to 50 range or something like that, 60 range, whatever, up is like the major majority. Now obviously there's people in their 80s that are using Instagram and stuff like that, but the demographics are just like shifted up like 20 years on Facebook from Instagram. There's still in fact I just talked to he was like 19 years old. He was running his company, and he told me, he was like, so by the way, he's 19 years old. So if you're like older and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know this stuff and I should be knowing this as young kids do or whatever the case, just know he was like 19 years old, just out of high school essentially, spent like a year and a half working a business that he had a couple trucks now and all this stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, I just joined. I should have asked him what he was using. But he's like, yeah, I just joined Instagram. He's like, Instagram is so easy. I just like signed in, and it was like add a photo, and I added a photo, and all of a sudden I had a post up. He's like, I went on Facebook. He's like, I just started clicking around, and I got lost. I didn't know what to do. He's like, I hate Facebook. He's like, I don't even think I have a page anymore because I don't even know how to log in. And I'm like, it's the same as Instagram. He's like, really? Anyways, so like, just know, like, that's kind of the reaction. Instagram, easy, streamlined, post, see, like, share. Facebook, 600 million things, and the people who are using it, though, are the people who got on it when they were in high school, you know, in middle school and college and whatever, and they've just been using it for this amount of time, right? Yeah. This is the 2000s generation, and this is the like 2010 generation kind of thing. But the nice thing is when you do ads with Facebook or Instagram, they go to both. So I do now. Right now, I'm full-time branding. I had a huge background in like social media, video, all this stuff, and I'm gonna go back to doing that a bit. But right now I'm full-time. You know, it's kind of nice. I have a good company that does marketing for me, and I just essentially find people who want to target a certain area, and then my job is essentially working with the community, with people who live there and care about it, and it's kind of cool. But I do a lot of social, like Facebook, Google, Instagram, targeted ads, you know, niche it down to the community you're looking for, and then brand to the community. And so that's kind of like what I focus on right now. And Facebook and Instagram is where it's at. Now, let me tell you guys a secret about Google. So this is the type of information, by the way, that would save a company. Like, I met a guy the other day. He's spending $60,000 a month. So just think about that. He's spending, what is that, like $720,000 a year on ads, and between like North Salt Lake and Springville and where I live, which is like if you were in Springville and you drove to North Salt Lake, it would take you like an hour. So in that hour span, he's spending $70K, and it's like you have the option, and he'll do it. He'll drive an hour and a half to do a job. And it's like, dude, that's a 3-hour drive for an hour of work. You essentially could have had 4 jobs if you didn't drive an hour and a half. You had it right here. So anyways, I target people's immediate areas essentially and be able to book jobs for them so they can double, triple their jobs, stay local, and then they're local enough to brand themselves. Essentially, that's essentially what Facebook and Meta and Instagram allow you to do. They allow you to find your perfect target audience, and then on ads and on and when you just use the platform and align with them. It's just easier to align with them. Now, I want to talk about hashtags. I want to talk about finding audiences. I want to talk about posts. I want to talk about all that stuff. But I would rather get into Buffer and kind of show you how to use this program. I mean, it probably would be a good idea to dive into each one of these. But yeah, for those who don't have time to spend 20 hours a week on social media and posting and finding and all that sort of stuff. Well, okay, here's the deal. There are people that have their brands managed for them, and that makes sense for certain companies, but if you don't have like 100 people hitting you up every single day about stuff, then I mean, I don't know what your business is, so it just depends, I guess. But essentially, you can be posting it yourself, spending the time, and doing it every day here and there, and you know, posting every day is how social media should be used. You know, you should be showing your life, showing what you're doing, you know, all that sort of stuff. But a lot of people use social media to just like, hey, like, I just want to share what the events that we're doing. I want to share the products that we're launching. I just want the information to be known. Like, I'm not looking to become Instagram famous or become like have 1 million followers on YouTube or whatever the case. I just need a social media presence so people know who we are, what we do, the basic information. If they need us, they can hit us up. And so if you're that type of company who just is trying to you just want to get your information out there, but you don't want to have to log into like 16 different sites or whatever, Buffer would be a good option, buffer.com. There's also Metricool, M-E-T-R-I-C-O-O-L, metricool.com. Check it out. Metricool.com is like $8 to $16 a month. It's better, in my opinion. IMO, in my opinion, it's better. But Buffer's free for 3 social medias. So now I just launched a new account, and so I thought it would be fun on these streams to launch my brand and do it live and show you what I actually do to launch my brand, because I don't actually officially launch my brand for like 3 months. So I can easily just spend a couple hours a week on live stream and just slowly show you how, like, what I do to just kind of get a brand going, make sure I have my socials right, make sure I have contact forms, website, brand, color schemes, logos, all that sort of stuff dialed in to where when I officially start doing my company or officially launch or whatever the case, I have everything, already in place. But, yeah. So Cottonwood Heights Living is I work specifically with Cottonwood Heights City, doing a lot of, local stuff. Essentially trying to bring, currently in the United States, it depends where you live. Where we live, actually, it's almost double this statistic, which is freaking awesome. But the average in the United States, 17 to 20% of the local economy goes back into the local economy in one shape or another. The rest go to Fortune 500 interests or out-of-state interests, or has nothing to do with you. So, like, for example, the community I live in, it's only 30,000 people, the community that I live in, but that 30,000 people make over $2 billion a year in income. And so, in that $2 billion a year, and a lot of that's, they spend about $10,000 to $40,000 per household in yearly stuff that they end up doing. In that, oh, sweet. Hey, what's up? Oh my gosh, I forgot my Twitch chat. Sorry, guys. Hey, what's up, Twitch users? Sorry, I've had my my YouTube and then I have my website chat open. I forgot about my Twitch. Give me a sec. Let me just log this into the... What's up, guys? So Twitch users, just to let you know, I'm merging all these chats and these video streams into one, and essentially Skystruck Live is going to be my channel I'm going to use. I only gave that out to friends and family, but now I've been a big fan of a guy named Alex Hermosi. I don't like Tony Robbins. I don't like almost any guru that you show me. I don't like anyone who's shilling $15,000 tickets and booking 8,000 seats. Is a shyster in my opinion. Sorry, that's really mean. I shouldn't be saying that stuff. But at any rate, Alex, I totally think there should be value in it, but people should not be losing their houses and getting divorces just so they can find themselves and only have 10% of the people succeed, or 3, or I don't know what the number is, but it's surreal. Anyways, sorry, I'm such a jerk. You know what? This is my stream. I could do whatever I want. So I'm gonna talk crap on Tony Robbins. Sorry. Let me just show you one thing, because everyone talks about how good Tony Robbins is. By the way, it doesn't mean he doesn't have good advice. I listen and follow a lot of what Tony Robbins does, but I don't think he's a good person. I think he's selfish. I think he's materialistic. I think he's very clouded. He just needs money, more. And no one who has such a desire and focus on accumulating wealth can pretend to give a crap about anyone else, in my opinion. I mean, it's okay to be rich, but like, dude, like literally people are losing their homes and getting divorced because they want to better themselves, going to your seminar that you're charging $8,000 ticket to, and they're literally making like food stamps. You won't hook him up on food stamps. Anyway, sorry, I get off on a tangent all the time on things So I'm just gonna share a video, and you guys can only Google it because you'll see it on the screen. I'm not gonna share the whole thing. Tony Robbins speech young. You see if I can keyword it, because right here, boom, look at this. How to sell anything by Tony Robbins. Rare. It's such a rare video that you just like type in Tony Robbins and a couple other words and it's up at the top. And here it is again. So that video. I'm sure if you see some of these it'll be the same. But in fact, I'm not even going to share it with you. I'm just going to read let's check the comments out. Let's just see. Let's see what the comments say. Notice he didn't use or any speech fillers the entire. He truly is an excellent speaker and showman. Good for you. 1985. Most important thing in business. Oh wow, no one's talking crap. You saved my life. By the way, I'm not saying that he hasn't done good things. It absolutely has changed a lot. But $8,000 for a ticket, and they're causing divorces, and you're not giving refunds, even though you know, whatever. I would love to just hear Tony Robbins' excuse over that. Wow, dude, everyone is loving it. That blows my mind. They all look the same. His older ones. I don't want to go through like 5 minutes to see if it's the one. That is funny. I swear it was this one. I think it's this one. Okay, I think this is it. So, okay. By the way, tell me how wrong I am. Totally. But here's my problem with I'm not 100%, but I'm like 90% sure this is the video. So the reason why I don't like this, and the reason why this blows my mind, actually, I was sure that the internet would have ripped his like old videos and been like, dude, wake up. Really? Dude, all of these are very similar. Okay, I have some relationships with people who know a lot about scammers and fraudsters and blah 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 blah. My personal opinion has I'm just making this up. It's complete lie, bull crap. But I think Tony, my bull crap, complete lie, made up. It's not real at all. Opinion that's not completely. It's completely made up. The words don't even. I'm just saying sounds. So like the sounds just happen to sound like things. But Tony Robbins is a freaking scam artist for sure. That was weird. Didn't that sound like I just said Tony Robbins, the scam artist for sure? That was weird. Those weird sounds just happened to say those things. But at any rate. Okay, I just want to dive into this. So, dude, okay. Let me just. These comments are very similar. So this is why I'm red flagging and thinking this is even more. Maybe I'm just looking into it too much. But first of all, let me tell you about the video. The video, he talks about how to gain people's trust, how to get people to like you, how to get people to get on your side, and once they trust you, once you've built that rapport, once you've, you know, then you get them to commit. And so he essentially teaches you, it doesn't matter what you're selling, it doesn't matter what you do, people can easily be manipulated. And so what he's teaching is the rapport and how to get there. But psychopaths do this exact thing to get people to buy their stuff. And so, like, here's my problem with religion. I don't remember Jesus ever being like, yo, we need to charge at least 15% more, give me that donation. And I feel like, dude, I feel like money. Now, I want money, I want a lifestyle. But wouldn't you feel bad if you caused someone to get a divorce, for instance, because you charged them $8 grand for a ticket of a stadium of 6,000 people, where I don't know the percentage, but I would be, if I looked into it, it'd be interesting to see how many people changed their lives or got that $8,000 where, oh, I know I spent $8 grand, I got a divorce, I lost my kids, and I had to get a new job. It took me 5 years to get back on track, but I did learn how to recover faster and be more myself and learn who I was, and that, so it was worth it. Like, that's a weird, and I hear that a lot in types of things like this. Doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it whatever, it's just like weird. Goodness, humanity, charity, profit. Like, it's just weird. Those things just are, when those things are mushed together and people are multi-millionaires. By the way, I learned how to do a nonprofit. I learned how to merge my profit into a nonprofit and vice versa. I essentially learned how to evade taxes so freaking easy is what I learned. You know, I'm like, what I learned from freaking, what, and then I start hearing about nonprofits and they start telling me what they're doing. I'm like, whoa, dude, you have like $3 million in property that you bought with your real money and then gave it to your charity, and then your charity donated it to this company who now is a for-profit. Like, what? And so anyways, yeah, I have a problem with Tony Robbins, and this is weird. How did you find this amazing video? It'll be interesting to go through this. You can have an AI go through all of these and look at the accounts, see when the accounts were created, see how many friends are aligned. I messed with these programs before, and I was able to throw, you know, a few hundred in a couple of seconds on someone's account, different comments. None of them were none of them were from the same place where I had the same amount of friends. It was kind of surreal. But the verbiage is interesting, because when people start giving like one sentence hoorahs, and they all are kind of like, if you guys know CoffeeZilla, just look up CoffeeZilla. By the way, he ruined me when it came to just like scammers. Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is a master at neuro-linguistic programming, which is the basis of what he's teaching here. Oh, okay. This is a good comment, and I would agree more with this. So this is probably the better comment than what I say. Oh, he's a scammer. Tony Robbins essentially is a master at neuro-linguistic programming, which essentially is what he's teaching in this video. Thank you for posting this. Tony has his comeuppance, which per the attitude he conveys in this once he needed, be humble. Have your prospects' best interest at heart and convey that attitude. If sincere, it will come true, and your prospect won't later question whether he or she's been scammed. That's funny. Anyways, you can delete comments as well, just to let you know. So I'm wondering. But teaching you how to manipulate, teaching you how to, okay, his whole selling is getting people to like you, trust you, and think and make sure, like, you just want them to know you're in their best interest. Whether you are or not, that's irrelevant. He's teaching you how to get there. And so that's not sales. You shouldn't sales, in my opinion, I think sales should be used as a tool to find people who like that product and introduce it to them. I'm like, but people want to get more. Like, or they want to find people who don't, like, they're not good at finding people who want your product, so they want to hire people that will just shove it in front of everyone's face, whether they want it or not, and sell it. Like, I don't know. You shouldn't be teaching people how to manipulate others and trust you so that whatever you're selling to them you'll buy. You should be teaching people how to maybe work or find a company that actually has a good product and teaches people correctly the right ways of whatever that product does. Have a good value. Don't be dishonest. Make sure that that's a company that's doing things. Like, there's so many red flags that pop up in companies. If you find one that doesn't, and then you're good. Then you're finding, what do you love? Work for a company that sells something you love if you want to be a salesman, and then you're going to be selling only things that you love. And now, all you're doing all day is talking about things that you love. Who knew? But you want to spend all of your time learning how to manipulate others so you can sell things that you don't care about to make more money to, and so, like, I hate this thinking so much. Greed, money, it'd be like and he pretends that he's like some prophet or messiah trying to give good advice and all this crap. Sorry. So negative. Here's mine, by the way. I use a lot of little things. All right. Oh my gosh, the stream has ended. Well, good, because right now is when I was gonna show buffer to the next group. So I'm actually going to end and restart this stream as this next portion. I'll post to my website for those who are ending right now. Clickcreations.com. You log in. It's free to log in. There's a back end where you can actually go on a chat, and there's a bunch of groups and stuff that you can go on. But I am going to be starting Discord. Is going to be the group I will be using. But yeah, if you want to go on with this, either wait for this video to be posted later on, or hop into the clickcreations.com, create an account, and just make sure. And then I'll attach your YouTube to this, and then you'll be able to log in. So yeah, I'm gonna log out, back in, and we'll go from there. I can do that, right? See you guys in a sec. Step for the fashion and design industry to enable their brands and creations to live in the digital world. In today's video, I want to talk about a project with a low market cap of only $3 million. Anything in the crypto space is already a gamble, let alone a low market cap project, but I think this one is special, and if you see what I see, then maybe we have found a winner. In today's video, I want to talk about Luxo. I want to talk about its role in the art and entertainment industry and how you can be a part of this company's growth. So sit back, relax, and let's learn everything that is Luxo. Luxo is in the middle of a reverse ICO. Hollywood writer, but is in fact a completely true story. So sit back, relax, and let's learn everything that is the Silk Road.
It's a once-in-a-century credit tsunami. Central banks and governments are being required to take unprecedented measures. Given the financial damage to date, I cannot see how we can avoid a significant rise in layoffs and unemployment.
Lehman Brothers is going bankrupt, and financial markets from Asia to Europe are doing their utmost to prevent Monday from turning from dark to black.
The Nasdaq down for 4 straight quarters for the first time since the dot-com bust. The S&P dropping nearly 20% for its 4th worst performance since the Second World War. The Dow a relative outperformer this year, but still shedding almost 9%.
Everybody in the West, at least, owns, a lot of people have got pensions, and these pensions invest in stock markets, and a lot of the shares are actually the shares of banks. And when bank shares get hammered, people's pensions get hammered, so everybody loses.
Everyone else is watching, and they're seeing these big negative numbers, and their confidence gets affected.
They are ping-ponging back off each other.
People are seeing this, and those memories of fear are coming back.
Procter & Gamble. Procter's trading at 60.
Down, what the heck is going on down here? I don't know.
All of a sudden here, we started hearing screaming, buy, buy, buy.
Right now, we're sitting down 875 points.
We've now broken Dow 10,000.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 900 points.
3 evens out trading here, 2 evens out trading, 72 evens just traded.
Market didn't work. It broke down. The machines broke down.
Fear came back into the market in a very big way.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate. We're red everywhere, essentially, down by 4-5%. We're down over 16%. Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%. The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
2-year note yields went from 190 to 166 in the blink of an eye.
The NASDAQ, everything and more has been completely wiped out.
It was the worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Ross grew up in a loving family, with a sister named Callie and his parents, Kirk and Lynn. He grew up in a loving household in a middle-class family who built and rented houses on the Costa Rican coast.
What's up? All right. Well, I think I had to text a couple people. Hopefully, there's one person who I keep not getting on. Hopefully, she's not missing this. But I'm recording it now, so I think. So, hour 2, I think this actually kicked on the same exact stream. It was like, you weren't off long enough, so it just continued it. So I'm going to have to cut it later, but whatever. At any rate, so I wanted to go over buffer. So essentially, I just went over like kind of the basics of social media in the sense of you know, the main, although I'm missing a bunch, I don't know why I only have these. But Facebook and Instagram, I feel like, are going to be people's bread and butters, especially with the people that I work with. A lot of either people who are so obsessed with technology that, I mean, they build their own Instagram, Facebook APIs that integrates with their, you know, blah, 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 blah. Or they're people who, they're old school, they network person to person, they're not, whatever. And so it just depends on your level. Now, I just worked with a kid the other day that was like trying to understand social media because he doesn't even use Facebook, and like he was just like, anyways, just hearing it from like a 19-year-old kid, and it's like, oh well, full cycle. But yeah, I want to talk about Buffer, as we're gonna kind of start our own. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can post on your social media feeds, in a way, and so depending on what your company is, you're going to do it your way. Now, by the way, this is just a Q&A, and so I figure if no one hops in the first 10 minutes, I hop off, but I am going to kind of go over this. I'm going to post this whole video in my clickcreations.com member and back page, which is free and all that, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I wanted to go over, so I have a brand called Cottonwood Heights Living, and I do have a problem with like doing like a million things, and I'm having interest in a million things, and I figured a good way to combat that, or whatever, my interests and stuff, is to work with a bunch of people that I have interest in. And so like I want to do videos on like restaurants, and I think it'd be cool to do stuff on, you know, I want to go into real estate and do cool homes, and so all I gotta do is find someone to work with in real estate, find someone that works in owns a restaurant, that find, you know, and so that's what I've focused my life on, is dialing all the crap. This right here, what I'm doing right now, is the only thing that it's not aligned, but there's like, you know, I have Twitch, I have my website, I have YouTube, I have my different platforms on my back end, right, on clickcreations.com. So I'm trying to I'm getting rid of all of that, and I'm dialing it all into one account, which will be YouTube. And this account, by the way, I am going to randomly go live streaming. I wake up early, and sometimes I'm working on 3D projects, or I'm trying to learn some like software or something like that, and I figured I might as well stream it. And hey, if you're up at 4 in the morning, or you're in a different country, or whatever, I don't know. But I'm gonna use this channel to do it with. I may pair it with a Twitch channel, which I have 2 people on Twitch. I have 1 person on YouTube. I have 1 person on my site right now, and I'm surprised even. I haven't done these live streams in a minute, but I figured I'd hop back into it, instead of doing a bunch of one-on-ones and finding all these deals and stuff. So, but at any rate, yeah, Buffer. So Buffer is I'm gonna use it as I have a Cottonwood Heights Living brand. And I work with certain companies and certain people who do services, who own restaurants, who real estate agents, construction, whatever the case, all sorts of different types of fields of industry, and I help market them specifically in this pocket up in the city I live in, Cottonwood Heights. And so pretty much Facebook, Google, Instagram, and then I have a publication that I'm getting printed out, and we're going to talk about all the local stuff going on. There's it's kind of crazy. We're just in a little 30,000 community, but we have there's like this $100 million bench that's getting that was like a huge granite, it's being taken down, and then they're spending hundreds of more millions of dollars on housing. Right below that, there's a $100 million historic mill that they're tearing down, throwing homes. They're putting a gondola in our city that the city's gonna have to pay for, not the ski resort. That's pretty gnarly. I don't know the specific. I haven't dialed in exactly where things are happening or whatever, but I kind of know what's going on in that area. I went to a meeting and whatever, but yeah, there's a lot going on in this little pocket, and so I'm up here every day. Figured we report on it, and and then we want to take a portion of that and put it back into the community. As currently 17 to 22% of local economy goes back into the community in one shape or another, and we essentially want to increase that. 1% in our area will bring $29 million extra every single year. So just bring 1% into the local economy. I mean, there's an area that's going to get paid off over the next 25 plus years that the city just approved for taxes for the entire city. It's going to get paid off 25 plus years, and it's like 26 million. So like, when it comes down to it, if people kind of gather together and they come behind a common belief, I feel like, a lot more can get done a lot faster, sort of thing, which obviously we've seen that tons of times in history, I feel like. But at any rate, that's my brand. And so that's how I'm going to be pushing all of this stuff. You could be different. Now, I know a lot of people who are going to be watching this, or who are watching this, are they do B2B sales, they do B2C sales, business to consumer. They do they're in marketing or network marketing. They do they own like small shops. I work with a lot of people who have like teams between the like 3 to 10 range. And so like, depending on what you do, it would be different on how you're going to post. And so, we can chat about that. I'm going to post a Discord, by the way, which will have a live chat. You can go on at 3 in the morning and anytime. Doesn't mean I'll be on, but anytime you post anything in there, I'll see it. There'll be places in there where I'm going to start stacking up help videos, all this sort of stuff. A huge communication and eventually once people get in there, and it'll get to the point where there's going to always be somebody active in there that can help with questions and stuff like that. It doesn't take much. So I'm going to have a communication hub, and that's one of those things. I had communication I was doing on all sorts of platforms. I'm just dialing it into Discord. So Discord's the way for me when it comes to communicating with you guys on here. Now, as a group, I don't want to have like forums and WhatsApps and man, the one I don't like the most, but everybody uses. I hope it dies. I can't remember. I'm blanking on it right now, but anyways, so yeah, Discord. But yeah, now so how I'm gonna post. I actually haven't really thought all of it through. I know what I need to post like that, but when it comes to a content calendar and stuff like that, I haven't really dialed that in. But I do want to talk about a content calendar because it's what we're going to essentially use on here. So let's go to Canva. And yeah, for some reason something's up. I gotta click this dumb thing. It'll link me. Gotta exit out, and now I see menu. Whatever. So let's do content calendar. By the way, since I'm here and I just remembered it, let me show you another thing. Figma.com. Figma. It's actually right here on right here, boom, Figma. So this is freaking awesome. But you can get templates on, all sorts of, kind of different stuff. Now, like nothing's clickable. It's kind of just like a whiteboard sort of thing that you can eventually like get an idea of what your app looks like, or advertisement, or whatever the case. But anyways, keep that in your back pocket. We'll talk about Figma later. But yeah, let's go to content calendar. So my wife is really good with content calendars. I actually made one a while back, And then she like spent like 10. So this is the problem with. I come from like a sales background. I love just numbers, dialing things in, and just like that's all I kind of focus on. And there's a huge picture of, for example, brand. Like I would align it to advertising. I love advertising, and my wife is like, branding. You need to brand yourself. Like you need to get to the point where people are referring you and giving word of mouth more than they are doing your advertising, to the point where you want to spend more on advertising because your word of mouth is so good. And that, it's so funny. Like my wife is good at seeing the bigger picture and a lot of stuff. But at any rate, content calendars are important in the sense that it allows you to understand kind of when to post, what to post, and it all is different depending on what your company does and what you do. So like for example, let's like just see what this one is. I don't know, to give an idea of a content calendar. So this one, yeah, it's showing different platforms. I don't know why they chose these colors, but you could say like for example, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I don't know. If you don't do videos, then like Instagram and Facebook. Your blog, you should be doing a blog and a newsletter on a website. That's a whole other conversation. But when you see news articles, when you Google something, in fact, let me just show you this. This is what a blog is. A lot of people are like, oh, no one does blogs anymore. Every single company does blogs, but they don't call them blogs. So like, let me show you an example. Top cartoon characters. I don't know why I'm typing that in, but junk. When we get to the actual stuff, blog. Oh, not Quora, but all of these are blogs, and so all a blog is, and so this one actually says blog. All a blog is a website, and they post an article. That's a blog. An article could be anything. Hey, I just learned this cool fact. Let me write 30 words on the cool fact. Let me give my opinion on it for the next 100 words. Let me give it a little, a couple of links on some stuff I've talked about that associated with this, and there you go. There's my blog, which is also an article. This is just talking about cartoon characters, blog. And so you should be doing blogs, but anyways, so yeah, Instagram, Facebook, blog, Twitter, whatever your platforms are. And then it's just showing this is when you post on those platforms. Now here's what's also kind of nice is because you can like do on platform A, you can do a post that would also work on platform B and C. So you can say, I want to post it initially on Tuesday or whatever, and then I also wanted to post on platform B and C, so I'm just going to make the post once here, and then I'm going to this is on Facebook, and then it's going to post on Instagram a day and a half later or whatever, a day later, and then it's posting on my blog, and then maybe my blog. It posts my blog on Tuesday, it posts on Facebook on Thursday, and then Saturday it's on Instagram, and so it's one post, but you make sure that this one post goes to these 3 days. And so the calendar essentially allows you to understand what your schedule is and what's your schedule. I always forget the camera's right here. Sorry, I have multiple cameras right here, and I'm setting up, like figuring this out. But you just have to figure out what your time frame is. And so here's my time frame and brain. I cannot do something for 45 minutes, do something else for an hour, do something else for an hour, do something else for 3 hours, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. I need to do one thing for 4 hours straight, 30-minute break, next thing, 3 hours straight, hour break, next thing, 4 hours. Like I just work differently. And so like, for example, social media, if I have to post every single day, personally, I need to do one of two things. I need to change my habits. So what's more important to me, posting on social media or getting money, making deals, finding people who align with community, finding outreach, working with nonprofits, finding, man, I just found a family that found out that they're $400,000 in debt. I found out that they found that out the day I talked to them. This is how the guy said it. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we just found out that we now owe almost $500,000 in debt. And, you know, it's like, okay, well, are we going to go $500,000 in debt, or, you know, are we just going to have to say goodbye to our kid? It's like, you know, there's no choice. Obviously, we're going to go in debt. And, you know, now the job that I had that was making me a millionaire is now essentially paying for medical bills. And, you know, he was saying it so casual. And I'm like, you just found this out a few hours ago? Sorry, I don't know why I got off track, but yeah, so for me, I have like a set schedule on when I do things, and in the early mornings, I'm very good at getting that 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. But throughout the day, as you guys know, I'm sure everyone's like this, you get lackadaisical here and there. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make a phone call. Oh, a freaking text. Let me see this. Oh, cool. That's funny. That's a funny meme. Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I was, what was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was calling someone. You know, that's what I do anyways. I'm sure you guys align somewhere with that, right? You get sidetracked, all that sort of stuff. As the day goes on, it gets easier and easier to get sidetracked. For me. So, here, this is just an example, obviously, of one. You know, there's so many different ones that you can use. So, Canva, guys, go to Canva. Find a content calendar that works for you. I need my wife on these streams. So here's what I'm good at. I'm good at like just throwing out the chaos, the numbers. Here's what you do. Here's the numbers. And my wife is like, well, you need to actually talk to him though and tell him. Oh, freaking K, thank you. Wait, I have no sound. Are you done? Good night. I know Facebook, LinkedIn. Is my sound not working? Oh, your sound's not working. I have no sound. Are you done a half hour later? I know Facebook and doing LinkedIn, asking to speak on podcast. Nice. So yeah, at any rate, I'm gonna find a content calendar that works for me. It's gonna take me a second, and I'm gonna have to design one and stuff like that. That kind of works out for me. But essentially, how I'm gonna have to do it is I'm gonna have to do the buffer way. Now, I'm out in the city all day. I literally meet like 100+ businesses every single week. Most of it's just like shaking hands, seeing what people need, what people want, trying to like figure out the gaps, that sort of thing. I do a lot of like branding, marketing, advertising. I can get people who are on page 7 on Google on page 2 within a few days completely for free. And so a lot of it's just like trying to build relationships, trust. And so that's what I like to do. I like to do that. And if I did this every single day, it would be difficult. So I want to do my posts when it comes to my information once a week. And so I'm going to have a calendar where I post once a week. And essentially it's going to allow me, on Buffer, you can connect 3 accounts where you essentially make one post and it posts on all 3. So the nice thing is you can connect a ton of accounts, but then just post your like a YouTube, a TikTok. Like you can post your videos on your videos accounts, and you can post your non-videos on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or whatever the case. But essentially, you can, if you wanted to, you can post on all these platforms on the exact same time with one post. But I'm gonna use essentially Instagram, Facebook are the 2 for posting for videos. It'll be YouTube and Instagram. I will post on TikTok, but I'm not going to focus on it. I'm just going to throw videos on there as like a portfolio maybe thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Same thing with Threads. I can just, anything that posts to Instagram, it just automatically goes to Threads. I actually like Threads. The advertisers haven't ruined it yet because it's not popular enough. And I find a lot of niche things on there. The algorithm is good for... I hope it never gets popular and ruined, essentially, but whatever. Threads sucks. Don't use it ever. Just kidding. So yeah. Now, so content calendar. I'm gonna have to have one that essentially, so I essentially work right now. I'm dialed in to a pretty set schedule, where about 16 hours of my day I'm doing something. But Sundays are my days where I decide I can do whatever the heck I want. And if I want to program, I'm going to do that sort of thing. And so I think I'm going to do my socials like in the mornings or something like that. Because I still get up at like 4 in the morning on Sundays. I just can't help it. I love the early. I wish I could wake up at like midnight and have like 8 hours of no one calling me or texting me or, you know, whatever. And then have another 8 hours of whatever without falling asleep. But it is what it is. I gotta take my wife on this roller coaster ride with me. So, so yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to go over today. And I'm gonna put the last hour on here as well, talking about the social medias. But tomorrow morning, I do a lot better at early mornings in the sense of I know I can cut the clips and do what I'm doing a lot quicker on like YouTube Shorts, to show people what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But yeah, now I'm just going to connect a couple of channels and kind of show the basics, you know, but yeah. So first of all, I definitely want to connect my Instagram. I just created this account yesterday, so this Instagram account, and so making it a business. So Google does not do a very good job at giving you insights on your followers. The reason why so technically Google is better in terms of advertising because they hold the record in terms of advertising budget, but Facebook is so much better at figuring out exactly who you want. So here's the cool thing with Facebook, you guys. Look, ads work, and they work best on Facebook. And here's why. And here's why they work, and here's why they don't work. They don't work when you don't know what you're selling, you don't know who your customer is, you don't know what you're it's something that someone was like, hey, what is that? What are you selling? And you're not like, oh my gosh, you haven't seen this? You haven't, oh, this is, you know, if you're like, oh, it's you know, I do, you know, I sell like these little kits that help, you know, I could put blankets in them, you know, for animals, you know, you can also use them for kids. And you're just like, what are you talking about? You know, those are the people who don't do well on meta ads because they don't know how to do an ad because they don't know who they're trying to target. If you know who you're trying to target, like, okay, for me, Cottonwood Heights Living, that's my publication. My exact perfect customer would be a wealthy, affluent person who doesn't live far away, who lives close in my community, who's obsessed with our community, and has a desire to make that community, who has a desire to take the 17 to 22% of the local economy going back into the local economy and turn that 17 to 22% to 90%, 95%, to kick out the Starbucks and the Walmarts and the crap like that. I would love to align with that person, someone who's successful, someone who has a lot of business, someone who has a lot of clout that I can go on and that I can help them essentially. You know, actually, I wouldn't want a huge one. I would want like a more of a smaller one. I guess the huge one would be good. Look, but essentially, I could dial in to my the person who would align with me on the community level, on the financial level, on the emotional level, on the product level, on the market level. Like, I know exactly who I'm targeting, and if I'm hey, if I'm targeting, I can make you filthy rich in your area if you're willing to give back to the community. I mean, I wouldn't say filthy rich. I don't make promises, obviously, but I'm just saying, if you don't know your target audience and you don't know that, and you can't say like if your answer is, okay, me give this energy drink for example. Red Bull, if you were to ask Red Bull, who's your target demographic, Red Bull would say athletes. Anyone who's taking things to the next level, extreme athletes, people who live life to the fullest, it gives you wings, it makes you do extraordinary things. We break world records, we make humans go further than they've ever gone before. We make sure, that's their brand. And they easily can just spout that off forever. That's who they are. But if you were like, if you were to say Prime Energy Drink has been trying to tap into the athletic energy market and has spent billions of dollars with a B. They're the fastest. Prime is the fastest growing energy drink company in the world that's ever launched. They're privately owned, and so they don't share their numbers. But if their numbers were anything like their first year, and they grew much quicker after that, then they're the fastest growing, and they can't touch Red Bull. I'm assuming that's why they're not bragging about it. They're like, oh, we were UFC, we own all this stuff. But Red Bull has that niche demographic targeted so freaking tight that when you think of an extreme sport athlete and you think of an energy drink, you don't think of Celsius. You think of Red Bull. Red Bull does extreme stuff, right? And so it's easy for Red Bull to know who they're going to target and their demographic. You're a real estate agent. Well, what do you sell? Do you sell business? Do you sell offices? Do you sell homes? What type of homes? What type of people are buying those homes? How many of those people live in what area? And let's find that area that they're in there the most, and let's find the people that are most willing to buy, and let's narrow that down as much as we can. And let's target that. That's what Facebook and Instagram can do. So, I would definitely. Here's the deal: if you guys know your target demographic and you know the exact customer you want, put $5 a day into Instagram ads. Create an ad. I can even help you on it. If you're watching this, I may actually put this in my regular stream for until I listen for a sec. But yeah, absolutely, Kay. I'm gonna help you out so much. I feel like kept almost hopping on streams, and then things kept getting messed up. But at any rate, $20, $30 a month. It doesn't have to be much. In fact, I would say very, very little. $1 a day, $2 a day. Start small yeah, exactly. That's what you should do. The smallest amount is what you should do. 50 cents, whatever. I don't know what the smallest amount is you can do that. Because all you want is to see numbers at first. I'm talking about YouTube and Facebook ads, by the way, right now, or Instagram and Facebook ads right now, by the way. I know I'm getting sidetracked while setting up this account, but yeah, if you just have $1 a day or something, and you have a product that you want to sell, and you have a website, Instagram account, or Facebook account that you can send them to, then it's free to join and start the program, and then just say how much money do you want? $1 a day. So $30 a month, not that much. You may not even get anyone to even click on your thing or whatever. But what you will get, people will probably click, but what you will get is you'll get information, and that information will say, this is the time people clicked on it the most. This is where they came from when they clicked on it. This is how old the people were who clicked on it. This is their age. This is how much money they're making. This is their sex. This is their all that stuff. Their income. All that stuff is going to be shown to you. And so if you don't know who your target audience is, then that $1 a day with Google, Facebook, and Instagram ads will show you just who's looking. And then you can say, great, now I'm going to focus on the Filipino audience and the wrestling, I don't know. I'm just saying, it's crazy where you find your audiences. And then you just dial it in. Well, great. These are the people who align and love this. So obviously, if Filipino wrestling pro, I don't know why I'm saying Filipino wrestling, but whatever. I'm just trying to think of something, random. Oh, there's people who love to get onto, who sell tickets to, elephants and jousting. I don't know what I'm talking about, but at any rate, a buck a day is going to tell you who will like that product you sell. Even if I found, even if you love to dress up as a tree and go to large crowds and do the Macarena with other people who are dressed up in large trees, you're gonna find so many people that also are like, dude, that sounds so dope, I want to do that. So like, the cool thing about the internet is it's so easy to find your people, and if you're selling a good product with good value, you're gonna find your people on social media. But social media isn't something that you just... Social media is interesting. Now, if you're in network marketing, you're going to align with this really easily. Social media is network marketing. Can you become a millionaire in one day with MLM? You could. Most people don't. Most people bust their butts off for a year, for whatever, and then they start rolling in, and then it becomes easier and easier and easier as time goes on. And so that's what social media is. You could go on and just make a post that goes viral, and you happen to just have the best content out there, and it's easy for you. But most people, social media is a way to get paid advertising, but instead of it taking a week, it could take 2 years. But in that 2 years, it'll start becoming easier and easier and easier. Paid advertising is a cheat code to get you to that point. If you've never used paid advertising, a buck a day. If you have $30 a month, it'll be an amazing school for you of what you'll learn with that data that you get. All right, so what am I doing? All right, show category on profile, I guess, right? I don't know. Oh wait, they're none of these. Art, product or service. I guess I'm a product or a service. I have to choose one. Oh, cool. Eventually, I want to roll this into a nonprofit. I don't know how to. I want to. Community organization. So the publication we have is completely, like, everything in it is written by the community. We report on the community, and that's how we brand people. We do it through marketing and advertising, but the marketing and advertising essentially is there for the branding, and the branding helps us get back to the community, which is essentially the goal of the project. So it's like, wait, can you change this later, just in case? Show, hide, doesn't matter. Choose category that best describes. Alright, let's just... Switching to a business account will make your Instagram account public. Ooh! Can't I be a private club business? I went to this bar. I didn't know it was a bar. I didn't know what it was. Someone was like, hey, there's a cool place, and it's called Prohibition. That's what it was called. And it didn't click. I was like, oh, cool, Prohibition 1920s bar or something. I don't know. Or restaurant or coffee shop. I don't know. And then I got there, and it was like a gift shop, and I was like, I literally like walked in, and I was like, oh, wait. And I look at my phone, I'm like, sorry. I'm like, I thought this was a bar. Was this not a bar? And she's like, well, it depends. And I'm like looking around, I'm like, it's just like a bookstore. And I'm like, I thought this was a bar, Prohibition or something. I'm like, they didn't tell me it's a bookstore. I'm like so confused. And then they like, eventually they like opened up this like door that opened up this like giant book shelf, and then there's like a bar behind there, and that was the way that you got in and out. It was cool. Sorry, I'm rambling, but your Instagram account is ready. Sure. Yeah, let's let Instagram gram it, and then let's gram it to the buffer, and let's buffer it to the gram. Build a present 3 times a week. Buffer, by the way, they also, what I like about Buffer is they do have some like really decent articles. The people who write for Buffer, they write really good articles on on you have to be careful who you read articles from. Here's the deal, guys. If you ever read an article and that article is promoting something that and that like the article, like for example, if you read an article on Buffer and it was talking about how great Buffer was, it doesn't matter. Just ignore that. Don't listen to Buffer's opinion on themselves. But anyways, yeah. Buffer is really good when it comes to their articles are really good. When it comes to the advice they give is good. Like posting times, they talk about different types of people and how they post, when they post, most effective type of ways to post. All good, most of it. So anyways, so they're essentially saying, let's discard this. So let me connect Facebook as well, might as well, just so we have, ooh, I don't have a group yet. Anyways, I'll connect another one. I just connected the Instagram for now. So if you had multiples, you would connect them, and then essentially it would tell you, you essentially would just decide, okay, now I want to create a post. You hit create a post, and then it would give you like the list of like you have Facebook, you have LinkedIn, you have Threads, you have YouTube, you have TikTok, and so all of those would be listed up here. And then you'd be able to click on each one and either post for each one. You know what? Let me show you. Creations, click Creations LLC at gmail.com. Would you like to access easy password? Yes. Well then enter your password on your secret identity. Okay, okay. Go Yellow Jackets. Verify. Click to verify. CAPTCHA. Password. Blood sample. Oh my gosh. Alright, are you done? What's going on? Looks like you're logged in from a new device or a new location. Do you want to log in with our super secure and legit awesome way that takes a little bit longer? Sure. We're still going to need you to check your email and double triple check. Oh, that's so crazy. Log in, log in. I'm so good at complaining. Alright. Verified. Buffer. Buffer. Alright. Bro. Okay, there we go. So, I just logged into my other account. But this way you can kind of see. So, so if I wanted to post a blog, okay, actually, let me actually post a blog just to kind of show you what I would do. Well, first of all, if you don't use an AI, you should use an AI to write, to help out. Don't use it to do your job, please. It'll kill you and your algorithms, and AI is going to understand AI later on. It's going to know how lazy you are and how you don't do your own work, and how just like Google, like it doesn't want to give people like the best one at cheating the system. That's going to hurt their own brand. They want to give the people, like the people who are looking for work or looking for something on Google, they want to give the best answer, not the guy who can work the deal, you know. Anyway, so I use ChatGPT, but you could also use like, I mean, I use a lot. You can use like Claude. It's a free one that you can use. Gemini with Google is a free one that you can use. Audacity is a good one, but essentially I like to use it to kind of give me an idea of what I'm going to post and stuff like that. But if I were to post something like, hey, can you write me a post on how I will be doing streams every Thursday. By the way, actually, to be real with you, how I would do this is on my phone, because if I do it on my phone, it'll write it all out, and then once it's done on my phone, then I can like edit it on the PC later. I can also, but the microphone is a lot easier to use. But let's say every Thursday, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Oops, what am I doing? I'm just making stuff up. 7 p.m. I talk about free tech tools and advice and help, and anybody can join. I also have a private group at 8 p.m. where people can ask me questions. Blah dee da. Das a good one. Thank you. By the way, I'm being stupid on purpose because I just want you to know that you can make mistakes. You can spell things wrong. You don't have to be worried about grammar. You can talk like an idiot and look at the response it gives you. So like, I see a lot of people. This is a good habit. I shouldn't make fun, but they're like, oh crap! I'm back. I forgot to add apostrophe. I forgot that appear. I'm like, no, it doesn't care. You don't have to add any spaces in any of your words. You can add a comma, and in between every single letter of every word you type, it's still going to give you the right answers. So punctuation, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's very good at avoiding that stuff and understanding what you're trying to say. So yeah, it does something like this. It's kind of boring. Can you give me one with emojis? Make it fun. Actually, so let me do this on OpenAI. So I pay for OpenAI. By the way, I love AI, but I hate 95% of it. Same thing with crypto. I love crypto. I've been obsessed about it for 10 years, almost. But I hate 99% of it. Over 99% of it, I hate. I just like, it gives me like, I just hate it so much. And it makes me, it's like you're obsessed with like a sport, and then every time you go to the sport, like someone's like slapping you in the face, or they're throwing like stuff at you, they're yelling at you. It just like ruins your day. They're trying to, it's like, dude, I love this. And anyways, but yeah, I want to talk about ChatGPT because the more you use it, and the same thing with like DeepSeek. Ooh, DeepSeek's another one. So in fact, I think I have that right here. DeepSeek's another one. Here's another good one, actually. I'm going to blow your mind here. I'm going to briefly talk about something that's going to blow your mind. How about that? Oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about freaking Hugging Face. All right, but that's not what I'm here for. Why don't I have it? Oh, it's right here. So Google has Gemini, but Google also has at aistudio.google.com. I'm talking about epic freaking stuff here, you guys. If you don't know this is stuff right here that is going to put you above the game, and it's so easy, simple, free, and all you gotta do is know about it, and you'll be able to dominate. So like at any rate, So AI has been around for 4 years. If you haven't been using it for 4 years and you're only starting to get used to it, what if you were able to use it 4 years ago? That's what Google AI Studio is. It's one of those things, and here's what I mean by that is. If you go to aistudio.google.com, I'm all over the place, but whatever, I have 10 minutes, I'm kind of going crazy. It'll allow you to not only talk, not only share your webcam, but also share your screen. And so sharing the webcam, you'll be able to be like, hey, I'm trying to, figure out what this is on my, phone, assuming it's on your phone, right? And you're like, or it's on your camera, right? And you're like, hey, I'm trying to get another pair of these glasses and I don't know where to get them, but I want them to be like Harry Potter-esque. But these ones are they're too short. So I would like them to be like that much longer. Can you make them that much? Can you find me a pair of glasses that's that much longer and that are these same like Harry Potter glasses? Now, if you did that with Gemini, it would take a picture, it would measure those glasses compared to your hands, your fingers, all that stuff, and then it would find the glasses that those are, and then it would try to increase. So that's what the webcam, that's the purpose of it. It's being trained right now. It does a job as good as like a 5th grader, maybe like a 3rd grader actually, but some basic stuff it can do very well. Sharing screen as well. It's going to crash a lot. It's going to be a little bit outdated, but it's getting better. And so I use my share screen a lot when I'm writing code. I use my share screen a lot when I'm going in between when I'm like on a web page and I'm like trying to compare like a document to a web page, or I'm doing a tutorial, right? I'm like watching a tutorial on a video and then I'm actually having the program open, and then I'll open this guy and I'll be like, in the tutorial it's showing me this, but as you see on my screen it's not there. So it looks like it's because I haven't updated software. Theirs is a different version. What do I need to do on this version? And then it'll be like, yeah, you're right, it looks like they are an older version. They actually moved that button over here. Go up to the menu, and so it'll see your screen and it'll tell you what to do. It's like so cool. And then just talking to it is cool. And so I like to use ChatGPT because it remembers. So like, for example, let me go to Cottonwood Heights. Let me hello. So essentially I start a new chat within the Cottonwood Heights thing, and anything in this folder it kind of remembers. So I was like throwing in contracts and I was trying to like break them. What can I do to this? How problematic could it be for that? Can I split these up into 3 things? Can I take 3 businesses and compile them into one? Can I, and so it takes like the fine print of all the stuff that I use and tells me like how I can legally do it. And come on, hurry up. I don't need this. All right. Can you give me a social media post? So the reason why I'm doing it on this, just to let you know, so I'm in my Cottonwood Heights living folder where I have talked about a lot of what I'm doing in Cottonwood Heights, just brainstorming and stuff. And so now that I'm in this folder, I'm going to ask, hey, help me out with the post. You already know this stuff because I've talked to you. So I don't need to write what you need. Everything I put in here, it's going to remember and I can reference it later on. So can you write a social media post talking about my goals and objectives? So by the way, this is ChatGPT going through all my chats, everything I've talked to it about, and it's going to answer this question. So it's kind of interesting because it's going to tell you what my actual true objectives are, because it can see through BS pretty good. Your objectives are to manipulate people and just try to make a bunch of freaking money, right? That's why I love AI. It can see through bullcrap. So let's see, is it going to call me a shyster? You're trying to, whatever, what's it going to say? Of course. And we're like shaping your perfect mission. Wait, am I not in Cottonwood Heights? Oh yeah. Can you give me a post from what you have learned about Cottonwood Heights living so far and my goals and objectives. A post for the community. A post for an Instagram ad. I misspelled like a million words, punctuation, whatever. I don't care so much about that it becomes a problem, because I do it on purpose, because I'm always showing people AI, and I wanted them to be like, don't worry about this or that. Anyways, oh, so cool. So let's see what it says. All right, let's see. It's gonna throw me under the bus. Hey, I'm Skylar. I'm a local business owner, neighbor, and they found your Cottonwood Heights living. I made it my mission to spotlight the good that's already here. The business that shows up for us, the teachers and the athletes making an impact, and everyday locals doing extraordinary things. Here's what I'm building: a community-run magazine that gives back, free features for students, athletes, teachers, and local heroes, recognition for the best locally owned businesses, events, interviews, and honest reviews from local residents, and a place where your vote and voice matters. Let's keep our money local, support those, give back, and grow something together. Want to get involved? Nominate someone or be featured? DM me, blah blah blah. Instagram, 3,000 of the most trusted homes, 100,000 plus monthly views. Welcome to Cottonwood Heights Living, where authentic local advertising meets community impact. We help good businesses stand out in the most affluent neighborhoods. Ads on Instagram, Facebook, Google every single month. Real community features that boost trust. Hyper local targeting that works. Want your business to be the one that the local members trust and remember. You kind of didn't give a crap about any of the community stuff I talked about, but whatever. Sorry, I didn't mean to read all of that. I was just kind of curious what I was gonna say. But essentially, it's gone through all of my chat history, and it pulled this. So I like ChatGPT because the more you use it, you want to, and I'm not going to do this live. It kind of freaked me out in a good way, but I mean, my chat history is just intense, and so I mean hundreds of hours, thousands. I don't know. And I asked it, can you tell me about something? Can you tell me something about myself that I probably don't know about myself? Or so, I said something like that, and it just gave me this list of like talking about how I'm blind to certain things, and I was just like hearing an AI say it, I was like, whoa. But anyways, the more you use it, ChatGPT and DeepSeek, which DeepSeek is free, I believe, by the way, for the even if we're remembering chats. I think it just doesn't do video and pictures and stuff. But the more it'll like help you out with stuff like this. So I didn't tell it any of this information just now, but I did earlier on. So, yeah. So if I were to do this, so now maybe, can you make a graphic with this post, please? ChatGPT also can do graphics. Now, I technically don't like ChatGPT graphics. I'm a bigger fan of Midjourney. It's my favorite. Midjourney. But these are all AI. I like to always, ooh, that's cool. I like that. And then the front page will tell you, so like, if you like one, so like this one for instance, it'll tell you the prompt to get it, so it can help you out with prompting. But anyways, so we are going to let's see, live streaming on giant LED screen with live neon button for banner appealing AR aspect resolution. We're gonna do 16:9, which is good for posts. That was I kind of was again being dumb on the post because I just wanted to show you what like a nonsensical sentence would give back. As I kind of know what I'm doing, I'm just throwing keywords at the wall. But then what you can do so like this is supposed to be a post about my live stream every week, right? I mean for the click creations one anyways. So I'd be like, yeah, let's do that one. And then I'd be like, yeah, let's do the, where's the editor? And then I would go to the edit, and then I would go to the, where'd you go? This one, editor. Open in full editor, suggest prompt, and now it'll suggest a prompt for this, maybe, and then you can start tweaking the prompt to how you like it or whatever. But I already have like graphics and stuff pulled for. I gave the wrong date. I'm so mad at myself. I keep doing that, but whatever. So yeah, and I would take, and so the nice thing is you can make an infographic like this. You also can make the graphics on ChatGPT can do text really well. The graphics are horrible, so if you want like a good visual, like a photograph, a good, that sort of thing, use Midjourney. And then like this right here is good, and you can tweak this to be more like what you're trying to show. But also like this would be good for Instagram, but it probably wouldn't be good for a blog. As a blog you need a banner. I don't know why, I didn't do the AR aspect on this one. But yeah. So I would tweak this with colors and stuff. We're over our time, but let's see. I like the post. Can you make the colors in the blue, silver, white theme? Ow. So if you don't use AI, talk to it like you would your friend or someone, like you hired someone to help you with something. Talk to them. Like, how do I do this? Like, how do I use AI? I don't even know how to use it. Well, ask that question. How do I use AI? How do I even use it? Exact same words. Type that in, and then it tells you something. You're like, okay, well, what does that mean? Okay, go back to the thing and type that in. Okay, what does that mean? It'll tell you. Okay, well, I don't get it. Why is this even important? Like, why does this matter? Okay, go back to the chat and type that in. So essentially, anything you would ask a professional, ask AI, and then you'll get the picture of like what you would use AI for and how it could benefit you. But yeah, do not use AI to write everything for you and do all your work. It's gonna kill your algorithm. It makes mistakes all the time. There's something called hallucinations that it does too, where it'll just randomly be like, and the product has great health benefits, and ninjas killed the princess, and and then all of a sudden they start saying horrible things for like 8 seconds, and then they go back to the script. So like, I feel like AI does that on purpose. Like, how can it be? But anyway, so yeah, that's a good one. I can post this on Instagram, and then I can ask it to change certain things. But yeah. ChatGPT is good for the article. Now there are things I would want to post in there, like I want to talk about like my. I mean, there's just a bunch of things I want to add, some links, some helpful videos that people can go to. I'd want to get this video on a link and post it and stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna end it right now because I don't want to like have videos. I used to have videos like 4 or 5 hours long, which is why I went to into Twitch, because Twitch is good for watching people live and it doesn't record it. And then I stopped recording all my videos on YouTube, but going back to recording. Although my main channel, how do I go back to my main channel? I don't know why I do that. Once I start getting like a few thousand followers, I get nervous or something, and I'm like, that's too many people. I go somewhere else. But yeah, I'm gonna do this every Tuesday. I think I might actually find another day, but I do want to find a day that I'm gonna stick with at least for the next like 3 years. This date right here, Tuesday, I've been doing the same date for like 5 years. Well, that's not true. I started it 5 years ago. I did it for about 1.5 years, and then I'm doing it off and on for the past like 4 years, 3 years, whatever. But yeah, I want to help people out if they need any tech help, any questions. I mean, if you need help with finding a CRM system, I know a guy. Just if you do a lot, oh my gosh, I need to talk to my. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this. I know a guy who has. There's 2 companies that essentially have a. I'm not gonna say what it is on streams, but there's 2 companies essentially out there that they're grandfathered into essentially these extremely discounted rates where they can undercut anybody, because the bank that they're going to is they can always go to the bank above them essentially. And so if anyone does any transactions, and my buddy was telling me, like these companies, like network marketing companies, he's like, he just saves so much money on the shipping and stuff with MLMs, because of these transaction fees and shipping fees. They have shipping partner. I have shipping partners. I have all sorts of shipping partners now, oddly enough. I found the #1 guy in the United States who does Amazon. He happens to live in Utah. That's my favorite thing about my business is I know all the cool business owners around here, and everyone does so much cool stuff, and I get to hear about it. I get to like see the success stories. I get to hear the trials of stories. I get to shake hands. I get to ask advice. I get to network. I get to experience a little bit of everyone's cool world. But at any rate, yeah. Now here's also the deal. I get up early, you guys. Sleep sucks. I want to do so much stupid sleep. But you know, whatever, it is what it is. Sleep, I'll sleep. But I get up early, and I like to do the things that I can do for 30 minutes and switch to a brand new thing and switch to a brand new thing. I can only do in the mornings. The later in the day, the more like my phone's upside down. You know what I mean? Like scrolling your phone, or I want to do whatever I can to not do what I'm doing now because I'm tired. You know, that's what happens later. It goes on, and in the mornings there's a computer science program and this like business education course program I'm taking, and a lot of that stuff is you know, as I'm doing the courses, as I'm building code, as I'm doing whatever, I figured it might be fun to like just live stream it. And then anyone who happens to be up early, which I know a lot of people across the pond who would be cool to chat with at, you know, 3, 4, 5 in the morning or whatever. But yeah, things might change, but I appreciate everyone hopping on and everyone hopping on. I'm just aligning all these channels. This is my first video, so we'll get things figured out, I guess, in the next couple of streams, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, anyone who does want to hop on clickcreations.com, you can log in to a membership. It's free, and then there's different options in the back to get a little bit more one-on-one, get a little bit more group stuff. You know, be in a group chat with fewer people that have similar questions and experiences and whatever than you, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I never know how to end these streams, but appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next week.